Former Chicago homicide detective Joseph Frugoli admits he was an alcoholic, regularly consuming more than 20 drinks in a night despite asking for a transfer to a later shift to try to limit his time at bars. But Frugoli told a federal jury Thursday he hadn't had a drop to drink the night in 2008 he ran a stop sign and T-boned a marked squad car near his home in the Bridgeport neighborhood after a 6-hour stint at an Indiana casino. "I applied the brake, my cell phone went sliding," Frugoli testified. "When I reached for it, I went through the stop sign and I hit the squad car." Frugoli was never tested for alcohol that night, even though one of the injured officers noticed his eyes were glassy, records show. Instead of being questioned at the scene or given a field sobriety test, the veteran detective was placed in a sergeant's squad car and driven home. 2 traffic citations against him were later dismissed. A little over a year later, Frugoli had a blood alcohol content more than 4 times the legal limit when his SUV plowed into a disabled vehicle on the Dan Ryan Expressway in April 2009, killing 2 young men trapped in the fiery wreckage. Frugoli's testimony came on the 4th day of trial over a wrongful death lawsuit filed by the families of the 2 men killed, Andrew Cazares and Fausto Manzara, alleging the police department's so-called code of silence led Frugoli to believe that he could drink and drive with impunity because fellow officers had protected him in the past. The case is believed to be the first to highlight how the police department's code of silence allegedly protected officers involved in drunken driving incidents by allowing them either to skirt field sobriety testing or let hours pass before blood was drawn at a hospital. The city has denied that any code of silence influenced Frugoli's decisions that night and argues that taxpayers should not be on the hook because the crash occurred while he was off duty. Frugoli, 50, who is serving an 8-year prison sentence for an aggravated DUI conviction in the fatal 2009 wreck, testified calmly for about 2 hours in U.S. District Judge Virginia Kendall's courtroom. Dressed in a white polo shirt and wearing glasses, he denied that he felt he could get away with driving drunk because of his status as a police officer. He said he'd seen fellow officers get fired and go to prison for it and that no one was above the law. Frugoli occasionally sipped from a cup of water as attorneys for the victims asked him repeatedly about his problems with alcohol and history of traffic crashes. He said he started drinking when he was a teenager and by the time he was in his 30s he would regularly consume up to 20 drinks in a day, typically Miller Lite beer supplemented by Jaeger bomb shots, a mix of Jägermeister liqueur and Red Bull. He frequented well-known cop-friendly bars like Shinnick's Pub in Bridgeport, Dugan's on Halsted Street in the Greektown neighborhood and Bourbon Street in Marionette Park, often drinking with other detectives from the Wentworth area. Frugoli testified that despite his battles with alcohol, he never talked to his fellow police officers about it.